Welcome into the Ringiverse. This is, of course, the Ringers Nexus podcast feed for all things fandom. We are Jomi, this planet Adeniran. You've got questions, he's got answers. We are Steve, the architect, Ahlman, the builder and tinkerer of things. We are Old Man Van, he of the resurgent hairline. We are Coke Baby Chuck, a.k.a. the brunch hottie. Together we are known as the Midnight Boys. Follow us on socials. Insta, Twitter, Facebook, TikTok. Jomi?
Guys, I'm happy to announce we got to 50K on Instagram!
Mass unfollow now.
Why would you do that? Why would you do that? That's my livelihood.
Damn,
it's not funny.
You made it. We made it. That's the
That's
the highest number we can go. That's the highest number we can go.
Hater shit I've
That
ever
was
seen
so
before in
much
my
hate,
life.
bro. I put so much work and effort into
Steve,
this.
I know, and now
you mass unfollow.
Steve, why would you? That was some hater shit.
Wait, can I just be real?
Hold
Can
on,
I be real?
What the fuck, Steve?
Now they know how the Midnight Boys have been feeling. Y'all were on your, we coming, we got the Jack Wade interview, da-da-da-da-da.
Yeah,
now there's a little bit of beef.
I throw a little bit of cilantro in there just to see.
Y'all want to get it out?
Why? But why though? Seriously, that's the question. Because
I hate to see a black man come up.
Hate
to see a black man come up.
We was riding one time, and I can't remember what happened. We all in the car, and it's all the player proof crew, and my nigga Ian had just got a new car, and it's all for. I'm not gonna say who said this, and he's like, "Yeah, man, I'm riding in the car." We're like, "Yeah." And one of our homies was, "Shit, that bitch won't be so tight if you wreck it." And we was like, "What?" The player proof is listening to this, and they like, and we was looking at this one like, why, bro? He ruined the whole mood. Like, why would you say some hater
catastrophize?
But wait, did he have a car? Was he hating because he didn't have a car?
This guy was kind of he sometimes would hate. Okay, he sometimes would hate. He's one of I love him to death, but he would hate in a funny. It would be funny. It would be funny,
but it's coming from the heart.
Sometimes he would hate. Sometimes he would hate.
You know what the worst hate? This is what I hate what guys do. Whenever, like, you know, you're in a bar or club, like a girl gives you a compliment and your boy will just say something like, well, you know, it's not that nice. And I'm like,
that's crazy.
That's
so nasty.
I hate her and I hate a what about me ass.
Yeah, I'm like,
So like a girl comes in, it's got a nice shirt. He's like, shit, what about my shirt? Shut up!
You got about you right now, man.
Shut up. But I didn't, Steve,
that was crazy.
I never looked at you like that, Steve.
That's crazy. Like, for real. Thank you guys for your work. Thank Mal and Joe, Aleya, helping cut videos. Thank you guys for following. That means a lot, man. We still need 50 more K, though, to do the Ringiverse Rewatchables month. So lock in.
Ringiverse Rewatchables month, 100 more K. Yeah, thank you, Jomi, for all your help with tables and things like that.
I do what I can, man. I do
what you can. We're on YouTube. Like, comment, subscribe, share. You can watch every Midnight Boys and every House of Art episode on youtube.com/Ringiverse. And also on Spotify. On Spotify as well. Spotify is very important, Chuck. You were telling me that. Programming reminders! Tomorrow, the House of Art returns with their Daredevil deep dives. On Monday, Ringiverse Recommends returns. I got real Ringiverse Recommend stuff for this month. I'm very happy about it.
Damn, all right.
Because I got the new Oculus.
Yeah.
So the new Oculus has really been taken over.
Right. So you recommend they buy an Oculus and then whatever you
Recommending
have.
the Oculus is crazy.
You get the Oculus.
Right. Okay.
Honestly,
the Oculus 3?
Send all the Midnight Boys Oculus. We'll do some Oculus
Actually,
content.
you know what? By the way, we could be doing shit like that. We could be like doing Oculus content and all of that stuff. But the shit I'm gonna recommend is gonna be on the Oculus.
The MSRP for an Oculus is $430.
It's not true.
Okay.
That's the higher Oculus. What's the lower?
What did you get?
I got the higher one.
Okay, so that's the one you got.
Right, but you could get the lower one. How much is the lower one?
I think we're ranging from like around $300.
No, it's like $230.
That's not bad.
Okay, and a lot of you guys out here, hold on. This is the dumb shit that I'm talking about. Are we recommending stuff that's on the PS5?
Exactly.
How much is that motherfucker?
A lot more people got PS5s than they do Oculuses.
That's not
Why
the point.
are you being a hater today, bro?
That's not the point.
What?
The point is, you made it seem like the Oculus was super duper expensive when we're recommending stuff on the PS5.
It's accessibility.
And the
This is
Xbox.
what I'm talking about.
How much is a
calling
PS5
y'all
game?
broke.
Steve is calling y'all broke.
Y'all gonna take that?
Hey, look, all I'm
Sounds
saying is
broke
this.
out here.
Me personally, I would have let that
take
slide.
that shit.
The white man calling y'all broke?
White
That's
man-
the kind of disrespect
Steve
you can't allow.
Steve is hated on a black man, and he has legitimately price shamed, broke shamed an audience of black and brown and female people.
And you want to know what's worse?
Female people.
When I was riding into the garage.
Women, ladies, I apologize.
When I was riding into the garage, I saw his new whip, Cybertruck.
Mm-hmm.
Oh my God.
Swastika down.
Whoa, hold on. Are we in the presence of a new nickname? Steve-on Musk?
Steve-on Musk.
Steve-on Musk! You really stepped in it today, didn't you?
Oh, yeah.
You really stepped in it today, didn't you, you bastard? You smug bastard! You wish you would have never opened your mouth, Steve-on Musk. Steve-on Musk
Yo,
is his new nickname.
his baby mama's hitting him up on X.
If anybody wants to grind in Path of Exile 2 for me, that would be great.
Oculus is coming on the goddamn... We're not going to let Steve-on Musk stop us. Oh,
Jesus Christ.
Well, on today's show, we're going to give you our instant reactions to the latest episodes of Daredevil Born Again. And we're keeping track of the Avengers Doomsday announcement. Steve, you just took it on the chin a little bit. So tell us what's happening right now over at Marvel.
Currently, there's going to be a lot of chairs being shown to us live on, I believe, YouTube and Instagram from the Marvel account.
Yeah.
And they're announcing, apparently, the cast of Doomsday. And we've got a handful of names so far.
Now, yeah.
We've started off with Chris Hemsworth, Vanessa Kirby, Anthony Mackie, Sebastian Stan, Letitia Wright, Paul Rudd, Wyatt Russell, Tana Huerta, Eben Moss Bacharach, Simu Liu, Florence Pugh, Kelsey Grammer, and right now we're at Lewis Pullman.
Lewis Pullman, the Century. I know that they're going to shoot this, I think it's next week. Or the week.
Yeah, the production's getting started, yeah.
So my question is, are all these people in the movie, or are they doing one of them we going to have people popping in, but kind of like what? Endgame was
Everybody's
the one
on
where
the
it was
bill.
just 5 Avengers.
Okay.
6 Avengers.
Most of these people are going to die in this movie.
Yeah.
And
so
so
they're doing it.
Wiped out for Secret Wars.
Wiped out for Secret Wars. Maybe they come back in Secret Wars, a Battle World situation. This is not going to be unlike, in my opinion, unlike Infinity War.
Mm-hmm.
By the way, spoilers for this. I mean, this is just... It's
it's not spoilers, you're speculating.
Fuck spoilers. All right, we're talking about these.
Thank you. Which, if they were to do that, would be risky to me.
I mean, it sounds like what they're doing is exactly like what Infinity War and Endgame was.
I think the other reason why it's risky is they're announcing a bunch of people that I don't...
Oh, guys, we got a big name.
Oh!
Big name just came through. Danny Ramirez, Falcon's back, baby.
Okay, great.
Yeah.
Is that true?
Yeah, they brought the Falcon back. Look.
Yeah.
Niggas couldn't give a fuck less about that.
See that?
Hey, don't do that, Jomi.
Yeah, for
don't
real.
seriously. Don't
be interrupting this entire episode.
They got 90 names to show us.
Jomi,
all right?
don't do that, bro. Keep it real, bro. We are off to a problematic start here on the
We're
Midnight
problematic.
Boys.
Y'all were excited for a second.
We have Steve-on Musk and
Free
you,
thinker.
and then you. Now you're like you're false selling. You're false selling. Don't say a big name and then it happens to be Danny Ramirez.
Also, let's not hate on Danny Ramirez, bro. That's fucked up.
I like Danny Ramirez.
Hey, he's fun. He's
like
from Miami.
I like Danny Ramirez. I like the fact Danny Ramirez, big Miami University fan.
Yeah.
He was a bright spot in the movie.
Guy, bright spot in the movie.
Mm-hmm.
Couldn't give a fuck less that he's in Doomsday. Facts. I gotta keep it real.
But that's why I think it's a little risky, because if they do another Infinity War, when Spidey dies, I'm like, damn, Tom Holland. I got an emotional connection to this character. If they get rid of a bunch of these characters, I don't give a fuck about...
You don't think Danny Ramirez is going to move the needle like that?
All right, clearly not.
I mean, look.
Clearly not.
Come on. I like Danny Ramirez as Falcon. He was like one of the, like you said, but nigga don't care.
Tough.
All right. Let's get into Daredevil right now. We're going to be interrupting Daredevil coverage, like Jomi said.
As names come through.
I won't lie to them again.
Don't lie no more.
I mean, that did piss me off.
You know what? You got to go bigger and bigger every time.
Guys!
You gotta go
Patriot.
You gotta go what?
Bigger and bigger every time.
Till it can't fit no more. Huh?
Exactly.
All right.
Spoiler warning for Daredevil MCU. Everything up to date. Let's go. We're getting ready to talk about
Daredevil Born Again.
You're listening to a reaction podcast. The spoilers are coming. Chuck, Midnight Manifest.
All right, this is your Midnight Manifest for episodes 5 and 6 of Daredevil Born Again. These 2 episodes are titled With Interest and Excessive Force. The first is directed by Jeffrey Nachmanoff, written by Grain Gottfried. Second is directed by David Boyd, written by Jill Blankenship. First episode, Matt tries to get a loan for his new law firm. When a bank is robbed, Matt teams up with Kamala Khan's dad to stop the robbery. And in the next episode, Fisk officially unveils his vigilante task force to take down the serial killer Muse. But Matt decides to take matters into his own hands when Angela is captured by the villain. Finally donning the Daredevil suit, Matt goes to the subway to save Angela from Muse, but the villain escapes. Meanwhile, Fisk beats the shit and potentially kills Angela's old lover. With the Midnight Manifest being over, Van, how'd you feel about episodes 5 and 6?
So I'll tell you something here. I gained a lot of clarity on what the show wants to be in these 2 episodes.
Okay.
Mhm.
I enjoyed watching. I always had this concept for this movie called Wayne.
Wayne? Like John Wayne?
Wayne.
Who do you think Wayne would be?
Steve is back on my team now. Now me and Steve are now Lethal Weapon. Steve just
He's Steve on Musk and
I'm
you're
here to break my
Van
arm.
Gibson?
No, he's Steve on Musk and I'm Van Gibson.
No,
Yeah, I'll deal with that.
I mean, given your attitude towards me, I'm clearly Mel Gibson from that.
Well, you could be Mel Gibson and I would be Danny
I think we should table this. I
You
don't
are
think we
too
wanna
old
be
for this
either
shit.
of these.
I am
course
too
not.
old for this shit. And then you are, because this is the thing is, I'm too old for this shit.
Yeah.
And then you, like Mel Gibson, don't look too old for this shit, but sneakily,
Definitely, yeah.
you are.
Sneaky old.
Okay. Wayne is Bruce Wayne.
Yeah.
Okay.
I always had this movie that I wanted to do, or this comic run, where Bruce Wayne is abroad and something happens and he has to, it's like a Die Hard situation. Look, it's like Die Hard, but with Bruce Wayne.
Oh, where he's just like got to get to his bat suit or like get to his thing.
He can't
and
get
just
to the,
being
there is no
Bruce
bat suit.
Wayne.
He doesn't have it, right?
Right.
Like Bruce Wayne,
Alfred's on vacation. He can't call nobody.
he's calling
Mhm.
Alfred.
Okay.
Alfred is his dude, is
Oh,
his Ronald
he's,
Bill Johnson.
he's
Yeah,
Rizzo
yeah,
Bell
yeah,
Johnson,
Like
yeah.
Bruce Wayne is like he's in Tokyo or some
Mhm.
cool place, and something happens. Well, Bruce Wayne has to fight his way out, and he can't let people know that he's Batman, that he has all of these
Right.
skills. He has to maintain his secret identity,
Yeah.
but he still has to like save the day.
Who's he say? Like he has to be saving, he's trying to get back with a wife. Is it Talia? Is it Catwoman? Who is it?
I never got that deep into the thing, but like I've told people, but it's like, yeah.
Oh,
but-
Vicky Vale, maybe.
and Vicky Vale would be great, but it would be like, yeah, but the problem is you can't sell people a Batman movie with no Batman. Everybody would say that, and I'll be like, fuck you. Like you guys make all kinds of stupid movies.
They
You
can
make
do a
the
comic
dumbass
book
I
for
shit.
will
sure.
actually
Yeah.
say this would make a great, like, if they were like, hey, Colin Farrell don't want to be in the Penguin suit. This would make a great HBO Max show.
It's like
Mhm.
this
Christmas time, Wayne.
But this
Yeah.
is essentially when I saw this, I was like, they did it.
Yeah.
This is essentially that movie. Look, I understood better what this show is from watching this episode and the next episode. We just stay on With Interest, which is the bank episode.
Yeah.
I got it. I got the episode. I enjoyed it. It was brisk,
Mhm.
shorter than some of the other ones.
Mhm.
And it kind of gave you a little bit more of Matt Murdock's character.
This is so interesting because this was my least favorite episode of this.
With interest?
Okay.
The bank
Yeah.
robbery?
Yeah, because I thought it spoke to the stuff that I'm bouncing off of, where I think a lot of the dialogue was, hey, I'm Mr. So-and-so. I'm Kamala's dad. And this is who she
That
is.
was a bad scene.
This is, and I'm just like, you need to, like, here's the thing. Let us fall in love with that character like we have never met him.
Right.
Don't do this, like, exposition dump of,
You couldn't.
In
be
case
right.
you don't know who I am,
you
this
couldn't,
is who
you
I am.
couldn't be more right.
and it,
That was a bad scene.
I think this wasn't like a unwatchable episode. I just felt like after just the tension of, okay, Punisher is back, we're moving somewhere, to immediately stop the momentum of the season, to just kind of have another, like, Matt, this is just what Matt's doing in the middle of the day. I was like, this is,
Which in a vacuum is fine
It's
and fun.
but in terms of the momentum of the season, I'm like,
we
Where's Punisher?
we just finished seeing the Punisher screaming at him.
Yeah.
And we're like, okay, now we're off on a fun adventure at the bank.
They used to make real TV, man. This episode reminded me of this stuff we used to have and used to enjoy.
Disagree.
But again, what do you mean? It's exactly what it was. In a 22 episode season, you would have an episode where Matt's at a bank and he's got to fight people without. And that's why I liked it so much, because it reminded me of a time that does not exist anymore.
Right. And then when
every single episode has to further some agenda.
This is why I got to push
or
back.
Do some things.
How many episodes is this season?
9. That's what I'm saying.
Well, no, the season is 18. So
Which
we're getting 9.
We're not calling that part season 2?
Well, maybe, but we're getting 9, now. And then we're getting a break, and it's going to be. So, I mean, in this part of the season, this batch is basically 18 episodes. So I think we should. Well, that's an interesting
because that's how they originally want to do the show. But now I believe that they're splitting it up and they're just calling it Daredevil Born Again season 2. Yeah. So I get what you're saying, but I'm like, hey, if I have to wait a bunch of months for the second season, if I only get 9 episodes, by the 5th episode of them just being like, oh, this is just kind of like old TV, I'm like, no, A, it's really not. B, something that was like old TV that recently released, something like Paradise, I enjoyed that show because I'm like, here's the thing. When we used to get 22 episode seasons, something crazy would fucking happen. At least one crazy thing would happen.
You can just play with some shit.
Well, there also used to be, and I just want to say this, in 22 episode seasons, because I was a big fan of Fringe and a big fan of that type of television storytelling, they would end on something. I remember specifically on Fringe, they would end on something happening in that massive dynamic where it ends and it's fucking Mr. Spock as, what was the guy that ran Massive Dynamics' name?
Oh God.
William, no. Whatever his name was. And he would be looking out over something. He'd be like, damn. And then when they would preview the next episode, it would be like, Lizard Man in Manhattan.
Walter, yeah.
Well, and I'll be like, Lizard Man?
Yeah. Like, where's this coming from?
I'd be like, because every single Fringe episode, there was kind of like the X-Files.
Yeah,
so it would be a new thing. Be like,
God, what a great show.
Is there a Lizard Man? I'd be like, fuck the Lizard Man. What are we talking about with the Lizard Man?
I will always support a Lizard Man.
Lizard Man episode was fucking good.
It was great.
But so in a 22 episode season, to Jomi's point, I do think that there were times where they would break off of the main storytelling and just give you an episode of cool shit happening to your lead that establishes maybe a new thread.
No, but I agree with that. But what I think we forget about a lot of those shows is the style that they were written in. They were always just like, something needs to be happening, something needs to be exploding, something emotionally that's going to keep you hooked, because every episode can't be that. Daredevil Born Again doesn't have those episodes. Like, it hasn't had those peaks where like I'm like, oh shit, something so explosive happened. Now we have 22 episodes to figure it out.
So let's talk about specifically what happens here. We get Matt going into the bank for a loan for the law firm. Talks to Kamala Khan's dad. I do agree that in that scene, like, we didn't need to see the doll. We didn't need to see this. We didn't need to see that. They could have just played the scene straight. It would have been fine. The Irish gang is doing a bank robbery. Cool.
On St. Patrick's Day.
On St. Patrick's Day.
And they are trying to get the money to pay back Fisk from
loosely tied to what's going on.
I mean, it's
but
not
very
loosely.
loosely.
It's extreme. No, it's extremely tied. It's like a
But in the
thread.
events of the plot of this direct episode, it's like a small part of what actually needs to happen. Because they don't end up getting the diamond. They don't end up getting the money back.
Yeah, which is a whole thing in the next episode.
In the next episode.
So it's not a small thing. It's a pretty big thing.
Damn, y'all going at this.
It's not loosely tied to anything. It's like a...
It's nigga time! Look at Stan!
I'm sorry. It's just like, I'm watching the episode.
No, 5 seconds. I need you guys to go in on Steve's face. Like, look at like Steve. What? Steve.
Because I was worried about it in that episode. I'm like, what can happen is like the whole thing.
Like, Steve was looking like, this motherfucker.
All right, guys. Let's pause. Everybody, let's just take.
Yeah.
Let's just take a
Steve,
second.
stop looking at Jomi like that. I'm gonna bust out laughing, bro. Let's just stop, bro.
Guys, we're gonna pause. We're all friends here.
Yeah.
I love
Mint
each other.
boys, I need you to figure this out.
Yeah, seriously.
Are we good before we
Is
continue?
everybody good?
We're good.
Fucking Civil War over here. God
name?
damn.
Human Torch, Joseph Quinn.
Oh, okay. So all the Fantastic Four is going to be in the movie.
Well, we don't know.
The only person they haven't named yet is Reed, right?
Right?
Yes.
Yeah. So
That's
maybe
that's a big name.
actually that's big. Maybe Reed's not in it. Okay, cool. New name on the
Joseph Quinn. Ding.
Okay, so does the bank robbery stuff work for you guys in terms of how Matt is? I loved that stuff. I loved Matt
Yeah.
using. I really want to talk about it because I found myself in the episode, like literally watching it. I also had some fire hot wings, so I was on my endorphins were like,
Oh, he was living.
Founders Ale House, Pico. We got to stay. It's a bar right around it. That's got to be our bar. When we come to the house now, we're gonna start going to the Founders Ale House and just chilling.
Say less.
But so I found myself going. I started off with the episode being a little disappointed that this is what we were doing, right? But when Matt goes back in and he's using his cunning and his powers and all of this stuff, I thought two things. One, this is Wayne. And then I thought two things. The second thing I thought was, I like this. I like the way this is going. I'm trying to figure out how he's going to use his intelligence and his cunning to beat these guys.
Mhm.
So I guess the thing that was tripping me up is I don't believe the characterization of this Matt Murdock. I don't know if this Disney Plus version has kind of like figured it out yet. And I kind of felt that way all the way back to She-Hulk, because that was a little bit more of a lighter touch, a more comedic touch.
Sure.
And now between his big like revealing, like, oh my gosh, this is White Tiger, this is the vigilante. And in this episode, part of me was like, Matt was kind of moving like a dumbass almost, where I'm like, I get that he had, well, not a dumbass, more so he was moving like an asshole, where it was like, I'm like, Matt, you about to get these people shot, or at least these people don't know, because you have the superpowers, so at least you can hear if they're gonna pull a trigger, whatever. But I'm like, you get real risky with a bunch of motherfuckers' lives here.
I get it. The only thing I would say though is he's the only superhero in the room. So everybody else is afraid, and he is legitimately the only person that realizes, you know what? If this does go bad, I can just start fucking people up. Like so that had to come across. He couldn't play it to me. I guess he could have, but he couldn't play it to me as if there was any fear of these guys.
Yeah.
Because he had to be super sure that everything that he was gonna do is gonna work. Remember, he's not just he's not just like athletically or from a superpower standpoint more qualified or capable than these guys. He's also just smarter than them. Like he's been in a lot of situations with criminal masterminds that far exceed what these guys are capable of.
Yeah.
So they're kind of like, the little mushroom people in Mario that you jump and
The
you
Goombas?
the Goombas. Like you can just jump and stomp on their head. You can use them to jump off of them. Like you don't need them. Like it's only Bowser that you're like, how I'm gonna jump on him 3 times, how I'm gonna do all of this. He kind of, they don't really pose that much of a threat.
This
to
is
him.
actually like a genuine question. Does this Matt, because I haven't rewatched the Netflix series in a while, do you guys feel like this is like the same Matt tonally? Because my memories of that Matt, he was a little bit more downplayed, a little bit more reserved. Like he was a killer lawyer, but Foggy was more so kind of like the guy that was leading that. And there was like a low simmer. And this version of Matt seems a little bit more like on the edge. This is how I'm going to do shit. I'll do anything to kind of win. And I'm like, I'm not saying that's the wrong interpretation of the character. It is just, it's like a little bit different. I was like, oh, I don't remember this version
yeah,
of
it's
Matt.
different. I mean, 'cause Foggy died, and I think that's supposed to be the difference, right? Is that he had like an emotional, something to ground him emotionally. That's gone now, right? And so you kind of let loose a little bit more. I mean, we're gonna talk about it in the next episode, but like the primal screams that he does when he's like fighting guys, like I don't remember that totally from the original show.
He keeps doing it.
He keeps doing it. Like
Yeah.
he's like letting loose, he's going nuts. So I think it is a little different, but I think it makes sense within the context of the story.
I think it's easy to say that he's kind of like rudderless without Foggy and Karen, especially for the fact that he's been repressing that part of himself ever since Foggy died. He is letting that out like primarily and in like small bits and like the pressure release valve of him either being violent or walking through a bank robbery like it's easy mode is kind of him stepping back into it. And obviously that's walking into what the 5th episode does, where both he and Fisk are dipping in fully to what that is. And that's probably like, this alludes to the final straw of him letting that.
Yeah, but you got to remember though, he didn't have to, like, he left the bank. They were getting robbed.
That's what I was just about to say. Go ahead.
And they were getting robbed, and he could have just kept it moving like, hey, I'm good.
No, he almost did. He picks up the phone to call 911. He picks up the phone to call 911 to get to, well,
he's calling Justine.
He's calling
McDuffie, sorry. He's calling McDuffie.
He's on the phone with her, and then he calls 911. He's like, shit, he has to go back. Like, he has to go back and help. He just can't not do it. I don't mean to step on you, bro.
No.
But like, that's a huge part of this episode, is that he's not Superman. He can't go back into the bank and go boom, and his Daredevil costume is under. Although, isn't it responsible to have the Daredevil? Well, he's not Daredevil anymore, but like, I guess. But so
I mean, it's a big bulky thing. You can't really have that under you.
Well, also the other thing that's not working for me either is I'm just like, every single time they do a shot of him like just touching the Daredevil horn, I'm like, I get it. He wants to be Daredevil, y'all. Put the fucking horn away every single time, because he keeps coming back to the horn.
He's horny.
He's got to finger the horn.
He's horny. Got to finger the horn. There you
He's
go.
horny.
Steve, you're working your way back into the episode. I just want to let you know that you started off at a deficit, but your takes are good. Your overall, I'd say your attitude is good. You're working your way back into this.
I appreciate that moment to moment feedback.
I'm telling you, I'm letting you know.
Yeah.
Now I'll say this. I didn't like it. I loved it. Okay. I loved it.
I liked it.
I loved it.
Loved it. I also love the fact that Kamala Khan's father was right there as both a character that gets to see Matt in action, and someone that's tying the worlds together a little bit. You know what I mean? In a way that's besides that one scene, which granted, it's very heavy.
Also, exposition by Funko Pop.
A little exposition. One thing that stuck out to me, mentioned Kamala, obviously. Mentioned his wife once. Didn't mention his son. Not nary one time.
I forgot.
Well, you know, it's kind of hard. Honor roll student. He's just finding his way.
Hey, well, no, he just got married. You can't
also,
be like,
the only
is this before or after the Marvels?
I think it's after. It's
one would
after,
assume
he points up, but he can't really talk about it. You know what I mean? He's like,
okay.
The only thing that could have made that little exposition scene like a little more corny is if he would have went. She's one of. We think she might be one of these new things that we call mutants.
I literally thought they was about to pull that trigger. I was like, bro. Because also, the thing, and I'm going to be mixing between this episode and the last episode. The thing that I'm like, that's not totally landing for me as well is the thematic propulsion of the season is so much about vigilantes. Like, we have now his therapist
doing the vigilante book,
being like, hey, can you hook me up to Punisher or whatever? And because I feel like the series doesn't know whether it wants to be the Netflix series or wants to be something new, we never really get to see the vigilantes. You know what I mean?
They show a little clip of the Swordsman.
A little clip of that. We saw White Tiger on the CCTV footage in his costume. But I'm like, yo, where's Luke? Like, when they're talking about the vigilante problem, I'm like, you literally have vigilantes that Daredevil has met, whether it is Spider-Man, Luke Cage, Jessica Jones, Iron Fist. And I think a lot of this show is doing something where it's telling us, it's not showing us. Like, I don't actually understand what the vigilante problem in New York is because we never really get to see it. Like, politically, I don't even think sometimes, like, what do these people actually feel about vigilantes popping up?
So is it that the show's not telling us, or is that it's a fabrication of Fisk's agenda? Like, there's a vigilante problem.
You could say that,
kinda,
but
right? Because even in the newest episode, he's like Muse. It's an anti-vigilante task force, but we all know that Muse is just killing people. He's not like saving lives. He's not an actual hero. Just doing a mask, using that to further his anti-vigilante agenda, right, is kind of
That's the wire-ish part of it. The
Exactly.
wire-ish part of it is
it's McNulty strangling folks
right
to get the overtime
to get
cops.
the manpower that he needs to do what he really wants to do.
Exactly.
But I think if we go through like even recent MCU history, I do think that like Kingpin ain't lying in terms of Hawkeye basically destroyed a whole fucking block. You know, you
Ruined
had
Christmas, the whole thing.
the whole Christmas shit. Kamala Khan in Jersey City, she basically had to go up against the Jersey City cops. You know what I'm saying? It's not that many years removed from the blip, from the Avengers having to save from the Chitauri. I do think that there is a more interesting ground level examination of like, does New York actually want these superpowered people? Because there could be like MAGA coded people who are just like, this fucking sucks. Ever since Luke Cage and Jessica Jones start running around, like I feel unsafe. And part of the show is I'm like, that's actually like a really interesting storyline. I guess I just there hasn't been enough for me to actually like feel as if this is something, that this is a fabric of one city.
I liked 6 even more than 5.
Really?
Yep.
I think that's fair.
I thought the show really found itself in these 2 episodes.
Yeah,
I like 6 even more than 5. 6 for 2 reasons. Number one, for some reason, even though it's been staccato, them finding themselves, Fisk trying to put his suit back on and it ripping, he's becoming Kingpin again. The scene where the sanitation worker that we met in the episode before explains to the mayor.
By the way, that guy has a terrible life.
Oh, he does.
Rangers, Mets, and Jets fan.
Yeah.
Prayers up
but
to
the
the bro.
scene of him explaining to the mayor that Muse was painting in blood was a fantastic,
hilarious.
Was a fantastic scene, and it was funny because I've never seen Fisk like that helpless and frustrated. He needs this guy to get to the point, and then by the time the guy gets to the point, he goes, "Oh, it's human blood," and then you see them go. I'm like, that to me kind of seems like the DNA of the show that they wanted to make. And so as I watched that, even to the point to where Daredevil and Muse meet up at the end of the episode, I thought all of that stuff worked and the show actually finally
Because
set.
I was actually surprised that
Charles.
episode was going to be
Well, fuck
the
yourself.
one. Huh?
I'm just saying shit under my breath.
Yeah.
I was surprised that
New name? David Harbour.
Oh,
So,
right.
okay.
Running the Thunderbolts.
all right, this is real side. Thunderbolts hasn't even come out yet.
Why are we excited?
Why are we revealing
I'm very
it?
excited for Thunderbolts.
I'm
excited
like,
to see
God.
Thunderbolts.
None of these guys die.
Red Guardian, you have survived.
You are safe.
Like, is that a little like?
I tweeted this. This thing is so much more funnier when you think about it. Like them an NFL team publicly announcing their 53-man roster for opening day,
That's such hubris.
and so you just like, hey, David Harbour, come in. Hey, you make the team, man. You're gonna be there opening night, man.
Why
Congratulations.
am I reminded of that Dark Universe promo picture with like Tom Cruise and Javier Bardem and all those movies that didn't happen?
All-time dumb shit.
That was all time.
I knew it wasn't gonna work the minute, because I was like, from the minute I saw the photo, I'm like, half these movies not be.
We should do top 5 dumb moments in the
Oh, it has to
history
be Dark
of,
Universe.
Like, all-time dumb shit.
I mean, I'm
All-time
gonna be
dumb
honest.
shit.
Do you remember when DC tried to do this is our slate, and they had like a cyborg movie? I'm like, there's never gonna be
All time, we should do a dumb announcements top 10. The Gambit announcement.
Oh man,
The Henry Cavill coming back as Superman.
Oh, so good.
Oh, daddy. That's probably number 1.
hierarchy of power.
The most recent
feel
ones?
so sorry for him.
I don't.
It was so funny, like in
They
a
sniped
morbid
the whole
way.
job away
He was
from
like
him.
so excited, so happy, man. Then like 2 weeks later, James Gunn's like, actually,
Like,
buddy.
You gotta make another IG
does the
post.
Black Adam whole like the hierarchy of the DCU is about to change that shit?
Hey,
It really did.
this is we're going to do this show. Dumb announcements in fandom. Dumb announcements in fandom. Because that Henry Cavill one, hey, guys.
I'm back.
I know you've heard. I'm back. Nigga, no, you're not.
No, you are not.
It's like,
I need to know
who
how many
who
days
told you
between
was
that.
back? I feel so.
It could have been like
I
more than
had to
10
feel
days,
bad
bro.
for
It was
him.
crazy.
But to go from Superman to back to being the number 1 Warhammer player in that's crazy, man. That's crazy.
You can't, all right, man. You can't get mad at Jomi for the Danny Ramirez shit and just go like,
What? He like Warhammer.
Wait, do you guys? This is so. Since we're talking about Henry Cavill, this just was on my timeline. Do you remember when Demi Lovato was openly thirsting for Henry Cavill?
Oh, for real?
Oh yeah,
On Instagram?
on Instagram, yeah.
When she liked a bunch of his
She
pictures.
liked, remember you saw the activity page on Instagram. You can see
Oh
what
yeah,
people
just
are
like
liking.
this mass.
And so she liked some of his pictures, followed him, and then posted like a thirst trap. Like within
It was
like
an
3
elite
minutes.
thirst trap too. I was
she
just like,
trying to, Demi used to have it. She probably still does. I haven't seen her recently.
but
Anyway,
this is pissing me off for Thunderbolts because I'm like, yo, can I see the fucking movie before y'all start
maybe
spoiling
they
shit?
like it a lot, but this is a result of how these things operate now, like the marketing. Remember when Endgame came out, and then they had Far From Home right after, right? And they couldn't really market Far From Home
until
because big part of
Endgame.
the movie is fucking Tony Stark's dead.
Yeah, but here's the thing. We already knew a lot of this stuff was going to happen in terms of the Fantastic Four. But I'm like, can I watch the Fantastic Four movie before y'all are like, hey, yo, they already going to be in Doomsday? Like, I'm like,
so what you're saying they could have waited until after?
I think they could have
Fantastic
waited
Four
a little bit. So it's because
This is not even coming out until late
to be-
26.
Well, the problem with that is, if I'm just spitballing, the problem is the set photos are going to start. To come
sure,
out.
yeah, that's probably.
So if they're starting to shoot like next week or whenever they're going to start to shoot,
if you see some shit,
the
this is
set
why.
photos are going to start to
But
come
does
out,
it-
and they're going to, and the scoopers are going to beat them to their own mouths.
But at such a low point for the MCU, doesn't it kind of feel like sometimes they're almost like rushing to the next thing instead of kind of like luxuriating? Like, yo, we
And
believe in Thunderbolts.
Isn't
We
the
believe.
PR move of that a little bit more like better? Where like, wouldn't you want the buzz of knowing like, oh my god,
Maybe.
we see Pedro Pascal on the set of Doomsday. What does this mean?
I just think, I think that's a good point. I think though that they probably, we'll get back to Daredevil like right after
Sure,
this happened. I think they probably just want to be able to control it themselves.
Yeah, you got to
I
control the
guess,
narrative.
but
Yeah.
like control isn't like quality control is what I want.
I
don't
mean,
want PR control.
here's the thing. They were saying that those weren't real artwork that
Yeah,
came from Doomsday
concept
Secret
photo.
War or whatever.
They
No.
did that shit on purpose.
Yeah, so I'm already kind of just like,
Yeah.
I'm like, we already got the hit, the dopamine hit from that shit.
Yeah, no, I get it. I think,
But back to Daredevil,
Yeah.
what I was gonna say is I was actually surprised that Daredevil showed up in episode 6 because it was something that I was just like, oh, this is what the season is leading up to. Him putting back on the suit, this triumphant moment. And when he started jumping off the roofs and like swinging, I'm like,
I was
that's
fucking with it.
you were fun. I was
You
like,
were?
that don't
Okay.
work.
I was fucking with it. Like when you realized it was funny, well, not funny, but when you realize how many people Muse has killed,
60.
like,
yeah, that's so many people.
That was when even Wilson Fisk was like, "What?" Yo, like he was like,
a sanitation worker figured this out
when
before
he
the
looked at Gallo, was
NYPD.
like, look, sanitation figured out NYPD. Dude, I'm gonna do whatever I want.
yeah. He's like, you shut the fuck up.
And we're talking about a version, like shit that they're talking about on the show that I'm like, that would be pretty lit. When we were complaining earlier in the season, like, yo, White Tiger didn't get to do any cool shit. I'm like, yo, giving White Tiger a couple of scenes where he's like tracking down Muse. He's a Puerto Rican who's just like, there's all these
He's a-
people.
why
No,
did you
he's a,
feel
no,
the need
what
to
I'm
add
saying.
that? He's a
Can I
what?
fit? He's a Puerto Rican
That- okay.
man in his borough being like, a bunch of people are getting kidnapped,
Okay.
black and brown people that look like fucking me.
Right.
The city doesn't fucking care.
Yeah.
I'm gonna go find them out. I'm like, that gives me the, like, I'm a feel for that nigga. Like, I'm gonna be like, damn, that shit really do happen.
He saved it.
You got nervous like it was the 30 Rock bit. Where it's just like, I can't possibly say that.
All right,
Like,
so I shouldn't have added so much.
I didn't know you could say that.
sauce. A lot of hot sauce. A lot of hot sauce. No, but like if I'm being so real, like I do think that is an interesting bit of like, okay, like this Puerto Rican man who is quite literally fighting for his life out here trying to better his family, and he's taking time out of his day to be like, there's all these people the city does not care about that are getting killed. That is something I was like, oh, that's so interesting. I want to see that.
Yeah.
And it's like not seeing that, I was like, wait, what? Like,
Taking time out of his day is interesting. I don't know that I got the impression that he had too much going on.
How was he paying for that new
I'm sure.
down payment down?
he got a job.
He got
I'm
a
sure
job.
he does, but that was probably his 2K time.
That was
But-
his.
but-
All right. All right.
But so people are missing. Muse is behind the scenes working. Do we get Muse, the full reveal of Muse, abruptly? A little bit. But the episode worked to me because this was the episode to me with the like really worked, where with the fewest amount of scenes that I feel like just didn't matter. With the fewest amount of scenes, every single scene, everybody's talking about, I can see the seams in the show. Oh, see the seams. Oh, see the seams. Can I be, we, as podcasters, is there like a, by the way, I'm not saying that is not a good criticism, because you could definitely see the seams.
Sure.
That's very true. But like, is there an email that I'm missing with all of the terms? Like, I've heard see the seams a lot.
Oh, all
I feel
these
like people heard
buzz-
Charles say see the seams, and then everybody started saying see the seams. The blank of it all. Like, all of these things, we're gonna start categorizing all of the podcaster terms, and then we're gonna outlaw them on the Midnight Boys.
Okay. So when is, I'm gonna be honest with you, happen?
Bye. If you
I
guys
don't know.
want it,
You've been trying to get rid of that for a while.
I just say that a lot.
Yeah,
But if
that's
you
just
guys
a-
want it gone, is that a podcaster term?
I don't think so. But here's the thing.
I think what it is
What are the
that
podcaster terms that people say over and over and over again that we can all?
the blank of it all.
The blanket of it all is one.
See the seams.
I'm not saying it's bad. Like, I'm like, don't couch it. Like, don't like.
I'm not saying it's
I'm
bad.
not saying it's bad.
Oh,
Don't
that's
couch
Charles.
that shit.
Okay. That's
Also,
one.
also to so-and-so's point.
To so-and-so's point, all of the podcaster terms that people have been throwing out a little bit, I'm sick of them.
Wait, no. Can I push back though?
What?
Pushback.
Is this
Pushback
is one?
Pushback is one.
Some pushback
Can-
on that.
but if I'm gonna be
gentle
real-
pushback, yeah.
Are these just like, you know how rappers like Lil Wayne is like Weezy got baby and the F is for, like, is that our shit as podcasters where it's just
You
like
just do this long enough, you lean on some
you
things.
lean on, you
But
know,
we
you
need
got some.
we need our own Midnight Boy shit that we could say, and then I don't want to hear us saying
Okay, so we got to put it on the whiteboard.
other shit. Yeah, we need a couple of whiteboards here. Could be blackboards, but we need a couple. You know
I
what?
want to mess with chalk.
We're gonna
It's
do
too dry.
blackboards. We're gonna do blackboards
Blackboards.
with white writing, because we're gonna do blackboards here on the Midnight Boys.
Okay.
We're gonna put a couple of, and when we start going to something too much, we're gonna put it on there and we're gonna strike it. But back to the show. This was the show where every single thing to me is meaningful, and it's building up to something to where I'm like, okay, I am starting to feel exhilarated by watching it. By the time we get to Kingpin fucking over Adam, why was she fucking on him? He looks terrible.
I mean, he
got
was
soft
in
hands.
for 6 days.
He's
Got
been
soft
down
hands.
locked there.
I can't. Normally, I could see, even
And
if
you
you're
give
in
him
a
a
bad
nice
situation.
fade,
Yeah.
like shave him
He
off.
definitely needs a cut. He definitely needs
And
a
if
cut.
I'm gonna be real,
She wants some long hair?
I mean, she's
she's
got
got
long
long
hair
hair.
before.
Yeah, I feel like because he's been in that hole for God knows how long.
long enough to grow his hair out like that?
I
You
don't
don't have
know.
to be there for a long ass fucking time.
how long has Kingpin been? It's been a couple months, maybe.
Yeah, it's been a minute. He's been down there for a
Steve,
minute.
educate us on the hair of what?
I mean,
How long would it take for you to grow your hair out that long?
this is like past his shoulder.
Yeah, he's down to his shoulder.
That's got to be like months, but maybe a year.
See? She fucking a long hair. I
I
wouldn't
mean, but if I'm gonna be honest, it's not like Wilson Fisk is motherfucking Michael B. Jordan out here. You know
Facts.
what I'm saying?
But
The Adam stuff is crazy, like in that scene specifically, because he threw you the axe, he opened the door. I'm leaving.
I'm literally just
I'm
walking
walking
out.
out the door.
What do
He
you?
was killing him. He was killing him regardless.
Oh, he didn't kill him. He threw him back in the
He
fucking
threw him back in
cage.
the. He left
Oh
him
yeah,
alive,
because he was
barely
still
alive.
breathing.
Yeah.
He left him barely alive. I would have
Which
left.
is so messed up. Like, even if you give him an axe, like, that's not a fair fight.
Yeah.
Like, that's not.
Is Wilson a little bit of a bitch too? Because I'm just like, hey, yo, he fucked on your girl. Get over it. Like, I don't know what.
Yeah.
The game is the game, player. You know what I mean?
I mean, he going out like she chose up. He going out like a hoe, for sure.
Yeah, it's
Like,
less
because-
blame, yeah.
And also, if I'm gonna be real,
Look at us toxic, like we a bunch of mysteries.
I
What's
know
that
that I
guy's name? What's
wouldn't
the
keep
pickup
the-
artist guy's name?
I don't know.
But look at us. We talk. Oh, we know hoes.
I mean, I wouldn't.
What?
We just that
How?
that didn't just get really odd. Like shit, nigga. We know how.
No.
You never let a bitch fuck your like. You like.
wait, how was that toxic? I was just like, yo, you left her. She found
Yeah,
another
she found
man.
another man.
Why are you killing
Get
him?
tough.
I know, but there wasn't a little bit of I like
Saji.
it. Not Saji, but a little bit of.
I don't think it was Saji.
Shit. Oh shit, we know how to treat these females and blah 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 blah.
Absolutely not.
Maybe it's me.
It's gotta be
I'm not
just
keeping
you.
another man in a cage. A
Yeah.
little weird.
Yeah,
A little weird to you.
Yeah.
I think you should just
Fist.
get over it.
I'm glad that you've come to that decision, that you wouldn't keep another man in the cage. I wish that your people would have come to that decision a couple hundred
If I'm
years
going to be
ago.
honest, if any of the Midnight Boys was going to keep
Give us time.
a guy in a cage, I think it would be you, Steve.
Yeah. What? You like that?
That's funny to me. So just give us some time and we'll come to the conclusion that slavery is
400 years? It took you 400 years. That's a lot of time.
Me, bro. Y'all not watching. That's funny to me. I don't
Give us
give
a
a
minute.
fuck what y'all
Winston Duke is coming back.
Yeah.
Oh,
Anyway,
okay,
back
that's
to
a
the
good
show.
one. That's a good one.
Also, the Angela shit is so funny to me because she walked into his
Angela.
like fucking law firm. She's like, Matt, what the fuck you gonna do about this serial killer? Blah 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 blah. And I'm like, what is this blind man? Like she don't know he's
For
Daredevil.
somebody who knows I'm not
I
Daredevil.
thought she knew he was Daredevil at first.
You
I'm gonna be
think?
honest. I thought she did.
Did you think there was too much pluck?
She's a little plucky.
She's very plucky.
How about you do
She
something?
doesn't know he's Daredevil.
She always throw like tiny people into these shows, like little plucky, tiny, powerful people. And
like
so,
teenagers?
Well, so here's
Yeah.
the thing, right? She is one of the. She does have that character. Angela. Hold on, let me show you
Ayala.
the name right.
Ayala.
Yeah, she has the mantle of White Tiger in the comics. as
Yes.
well.
Mhm.
And so I don't know if this is another Young Avengers.
Young Avengers agenda. I think so.
I mean, White Tiger. You know what I mean? Like,
What's the
maybe-
roster for Young Avengers looking like?
I mean, it's at this point he's got Hawkeye, Miss Marvel,
Patriot.
Patriot, Billy, Cassie,
Mhm.
Ironheart,
Now,
Stature.
Who is that team
Yes,
beating?
yeah.
Those motherfuckers are getting murked. There's
White
not
Tiger. It's not. We'll see what it looks like. You know, we got to find a villain for him at some point. But introducing White Tiger in the show is pretty interesting. I mean, these shows have a track record as far as we go back. Aside from, I mean, you can even argue for Loki with Kid Thor or Kid Loki, right? They introduced a little
Oh, God.
Young Avengers, little agenda.
I don't want a kid
out there. I don't know if I want White Tiger in there because I know she's a little young, but she went out easy. You know what I mean?
She could probably do a flip.
Also, I mean,
She need that.
Matt was struggling with Muse in a way where I'm just like, Muse don't got no hands.
He ain't been in the gym. You know what I'm saying? It's like
he struggled every time he's fought.
It's been, and
The fucking Irish dude gave him a little work. He's supposed to fuck over that Irish dude in 3 moves.
yes,
I mean,
He's fucking Daredevil.
Bro, dude,
okay?
come on.
Like,
Hey,
and
time
no,
out.
bro.
he just missed
He
22
hasn't-
games with a
bro,
calf injury,
bro.
bro.
Come on.
Bro.
You gotta let him get back in shape.
I've done so much to like not be that guy. It's fucking Daredevil.
You
The
gotta get back
thug
in shape,
from
man.
Ireland is getting fucked up in 3 moves. It's just a fact.
Remember in Dark Knight Rises when Batman hadn't been Batman for a long time,
stop.
and he was getting like
That was like 5 years,
getting
though.
clapped.
I need you to
By
stop with the
Bane.
MCU agenda.
By Bane.
not by Bane. It was
Not,
not,
not, not,
What are we
by,
talk-
not by
that
like
first night.
not by regular niggas. By Bane. Bane clapped him up.
Bane did clap him, but that was
Yeah,
Yeah,
Bane
that's
clapped, but like
Bane.
regular
Let's
guys.
just go down the episodes. Daredevil was getting fucked up by Bullseye. Got his fucking everybody.
That one was tough.
That was
But
Bill-
Bullseye's a good
Bill-
matchup.
Bill-
It's a good matchup.
Bill, they like that's
Yeah, that's
that's
a good
Bullseye's an
matchup.
even matchup.
That's a good matchup.
the cops. He was
beat them
struggling
up.
against the cops.
Nah, he beat.
I mean,
them
he
up.
beat the shit out.
He beat the cops up. He beat the cops up. Come on, he beat the cops up. Don't do that. Don't do that.
Man, I know a nigga named Tyrone. We called him Roni from
Uh-huh.
Baton Rouge. I seen that nigga beat the police up. Okay, that nigga ain't no Daredevil. Like, I hope he's still alive. But
It's a crazy little.
but like that nigga beat the police up. I didn't see. Maybe that wasn't Roni. I don't think that was Roni that beat the police up. But I saw one dude put them hands on the police. He wasn't no Daredevil. Okay,
Honestly-
Daredevil, expert hand to hand. They wouldn't show Steve Rogers fucking struggling with the police. They wouldn't show Steve Rogers struggle with the head thugs.
What about the blue?
He's got
What about
super
the blue
soldier
mask?
serum
What like he was struggling not just with the Irish guy at the end, the blue mask in the fucking
in the stairway.
in the stairway. I'm like, why does it take you 15 minutes to take down one dude, bro? This is one man.
It's got to be quiet. You know what I mean? Because you don't want to
Look, I love both episodes. I'm just saying, I was watching it, and because Kalika was trying not to watch, she was peeking, and she was like, "Who is that guy?" And I'm like, "He's one of Irish thugs." She's like, "Well, what is he? Why's the fight? What's happening with the fight? That guy's like not some kind of special. I know that guy probably knows how to like handle himself
Sure.
because he's
But he's also not Daredevil.
yeah, he's not Daredevil. He's not trained by Stick for fucking 15 years with all kinds of special skills. So I will give with that. Muse's lair was cool, bro. I'm sorry.
I don't think that's cool. That's a bad hang.
It was
What are you talking about?
Muse's lair was cool.
I bet it
Muse is
smells
a cool,
crazy.
Muse is a cool villain.
No, he's not.
I like him.
Nah, his design's all right, but like,
I wish he would talk.
nah,
I don't know what's going on.
He's some real
Sucks,
loner.
bro.
I don't know
real
what's going
loner
on.
shit.
I would love to understand what his motivations
Yeah,
are.
here's the
Here's
thing:
the-
you can't be evil Banksy. That's not cool.
Evil
to me.
Banksy
I think that's
funny.
dumb. That's cool.
Like
What?
I get
If
what
his
he
art
is.
was cool, then I'd get it.
The
But
greatest
no.
he sucks at graffiti, bro.
His graffiti's fun. I think like
No, it's all high
it's like-
concept. It's just like,
you know-
oh, he's a pig. Oh,
Yeah,
what does this
like,
mean?
I get it.
Like,
He's like kind of like, I don't want to say Rage Against the Machine because it's not on the same thing, but like he's very much like against the authority,
Yeah.
right? And so like I kind of get that, but I would like to, I guess to your point, they're showing us, but we're
Mhm.
not telling us. Like, hey Muse, why do you do what you do? It is kind of weird that
Well,
you got
those-
to kill people.
those two
get the
girls
point
were just like,
across.
we just love your art. We
Yeah,
just
I
want
was
to see. I'm
like,
like,
nuts.
what? You got groupies now?
Yeah, he got Instagram.
Bruh, that happens, bruh. You have never seen these women.
I mean, yeah, but
that, like you never seen these women that happens, bro. I
they didn't
always
even know he
wonder.
was a serial
Bro,
killer.
They
well,
don't know
you're
he's a
telling
serial
me.
killer, but there's a lot of women. A shout out to them. There's a lot of women that the only thing that's hotter than being an artist is a serial killer. If he was a
This is
chef,
true.
if he was a
Yeah.
chef, that would be the holy three.
If he looked like
A hot
Luigi, it'd be a different story.
Artist, serial killer, chef.
Skateboarder.
Oh, Jesus Christ, you can hit a kickflip, you get all the hoes. like, you know what I'm saying? It's like if he was those things in a
Right.
row.
Jesus
But
Christ.
no,
You're
this is
done.
what. So they noticed him with the mask on, right? Because when he was spray painting the girls, I was just like, so wait, let me tell you, there's a viral graffiti artist with blood streaming down
That
his
people can
fucking eyes,
recognize.
Yeah.
and nobody's just like, this motherfucker's weird.
Well, they did find out that it was Muse quick. There was no mystery. So if I was gonna criticize the deal, which I'm still trying to figure out what's going on, is that there's a version of the show where Muse shows up as your villain in the first episode.
Yeah.
And whatever. There's no bullseye bullshit, whatever.
Mhm.
And then Muse kills Foggy. And we kind of understand how dangerous Muse is by the fact that he has killed Foggy.
Yeah.
And whatever happens, and they do kind of just give you Muse.
Yeah,
I do understand that.
Yeah.
But the episode to me is not really about him. It's about Wilson Fisk and about Matt Murdock. And it worked to me in terms of giving me enough
Yeah.
dramatic momentum to the end of the episodes where each of them are fighting not against Adam and against Muse, but against themselves.
Exactly. I thought, and how they edited that scene, like some of the action syncs up when they throw him to the table and then they throws Muse to the table. Like he lands a punch on Adam and then it goes to a punch on Muse. I thought is just very much like the juxtaposition of those shots lets you know, like, oh, these two people, like your point, are not fighting those guys.
It's just so
they're
fucked up
fighting
that
they're
Adam's like
fighting their
clearly
nature.
malnourished.
Well, they're,
and like,
they're going back to
the
what
old
they,
him. It's the
Yeah,
Bugs Bunny
exactly.
meme. It's the whole, yeah.
going
Nah,
back
it's
to
some
the old
Eminem
me.
Slim Shady shit. After a while, I'm like, I get it. I get it. They two sides of the same coin. I get
Yeah.
it.
The axe. I'm like,
You gotta put
if
a
you'd have
pedophile.
thrown me the axe, I'd have been like, no.
Yeah,
I would have sat my
Close
ass
the-
in there. I'm
I
like,
didn't
nah.
just stay. I'm like, what?
I'd have been like, you come out there with the axe. I was like, yo, you're not going to use the axe? Or nah, go give me a gun. If you want to make it fair.
You're still bulletproof. It's
like,
all
like, you know what I'm
muscle.
saying?
Like,
Like, go give me a gun.
Also, if I'm being real, Fisk was being an asshole because I'm like, yo, at least give me something that I can maneuver in these tight quarters. I got this fucking axe just trying to
It's-
swing
you
this
gotta
shit.
wind
Like,
up.
Yeah.
like, give me like a couple knives or at least like,
Bruh, Fisk is a fucking problem. Oh
Yeah.
my God, bruh. Fisk looks way more dangerous than Daredevil right now at this point.
and also,
Oh,
if
yeah.
we're being real, so what's the difference? Matt is having all these problems taking out scrubs. I ain't seen Wilson Fisk be in the gym once this season, and he's just like, bah, 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 bah.
I mean, to be fair, he is fighting a malnourished prisoner.
Yeah.
So
I mean, that Daredevil's basically been doing the same shit, and he's been getting washed.
Not really. Not even close. Let's be for real. It's not the same. It's not the same. Me and Adam has been in that cage for God knows how long.
Not my Daredevil. Hashtag not my Daredevil. My Daredevil was fucking up a whole fucking hallway by himself.
and he was killing bikers.
Yeah, you know what I'm saying? Like motherfuckers who had hands.
Y'all know he not been in the gym for a long time, man. He gonna have nights where you shoot 10 to 13, bro.
Not if you brawny.
Wow.
Shout out. Salute.
Not
Have we
if
gotten
you-
any updates?
Nah.
Yeah, no, I know we got Winston Duke and Joseph Quinn.
Joseph Quinn? Oh, you
Joseph Quinn, David Harbour, Winston Duke.
Yeah,
Winston Duke. Okay, so
yeah.
so Wakanda is back. Let's talk about this for a second. So Letitia Wright, Winston Duke,
Namor,
Wakanda's back.
Mm-hmm.
You said something about the show's identity that I actually kind of found really interesting because like the show kind of finding its stride in episodes 5 and 6, especially with 6, knowing that, okay, this is kind of the identity of the show that it seems to be, like knowing that we've mirrored Fisk and Murdoch accurately, that they're going back to the old them old selves, and it's this personal journey of struggle and making it hard for one other person a bit more than the other. I've liked that, but I've also kind of seen this patchwork of the show that things operate both in a vacuum and kind of together. I think that when we see the bank robbery, you can easily see a flavor of that show being strewn across all 18 episodes of this show that doesn't look like episode 6. And it still kind of is working. I've liked where these last 2 have shown us, because I think now that this is a bit more of a correction from a cohesive middle to an end point that we can actually discern.
Getting to Muse was important in episode 6 because you have to introduce like the villain, right? You have to introduce something that makes Matt get in the suit, get active, right? And I thought that this episode did a good job of like making us feel like, okay, now Matt has to get active, right? He doesn't know that, or he does know that Angela's getting down there. If he doesn't do anything, she dies. He literally he wants to call 911. It's like, fuck it, I got to do it myself. And that's something I think is important for us as people who have been begging for Daredevil to show up. We asked last week, does this show need Daredevil? And we finally got it. And I think you mentioned this as being like your favorite episode, at least of this batch, because I feel like for the reason we actually got Daredevil doing Daredevil stuff.
I think this, at this point, I'm just waiting for season 2. And I will say this is one of the Disney Plus shows that I've enjoyed more. Like, I watched these 2 episodes. They were not unwatchable. I was just like, there were moments in both that I was just like, oh, this is like entertaining. But I definitely feel like this is a clearing of the throat process.
You feel like it's hors d'oeuvres.
Yeah, and it's like, and that's fine, where I'm like, they created something that they were just like, this isn't working. And I think they did their best to kind of like patch it together. And it's okay. Like, that happens in TV. I just think that, like, I'm assuming that these last couple episodes will have a lot more action to them, which I'm excited for. But yeah, it's just taken them a season to figure out these characters. And it's a little wobbly because I'm like, you guys still don't completely know what you want to say about Daredevil yet.
My biggest problem in the 2 episodes was a very small clip. A very small clip, and it was of Swordsman. And let me tell you why that was my biggest problem. So it showed Swordsman doing his thing, and then we see the character talking to Wilson Fisk. Is back from Hawkeye.
Yeah.
And it was cool. You know, it's cool to see Wilson Fisk in that room, realizing that there's a part of the city that's not going to accept him, even if he's the mayor. Like, that scene was commentary to me on the fact that there is an upper crust of elites in any type of situation that doesn't just accept you because the people do. They accept you. They let you in the club when they want to.
Yeah.
Like, if you are elected and you go to Washington, like, you still got to be accepted by the elites and the people who make the town run. And you have to ingratiate yourself to those people. And Wilson Fisk saw that perhaps it was something that was impossible for him to do because of his past.
Yeah.
But the swordsman scene, to me, is indicative of kind of sometimes the shit that the show doesn't get right. These characters are cool. And the old Daredevil show got that right.
Yeah.
The Punisher is cool. You don't like him, but Bullseye in that other show is cool. He is deadly. Cool. He is like you're afraid of him. He's dangerous. They are kind of introducing these characters in a very like a hokey way.
Yeah.
Like if
I see what you mean.
if you're gonna introduce the swordsman, he's got to be like cutting bullets in half and shit. I mean, I'm
He's just
being
wearing
for
a
real.
hoodie
He's
and
gotta,
like
if you
it's X-Men Origins.
Yeah, like he's got to be. If you're gonna introduce him, he's got to be like doing.
I see what you mean.
Shit, like he's got to be like the characters. They envisioned. He looked like he was, you know.
I'd like to see him in a sword fight
fencing with
once.
some Dominicans.
Yeah,
you know what I mean?
Why would you say?
No,
I don't know who they were.
Because they do this again. White Tiger, it's CC2 footage instead of just actually seeing him in like an actual fight scene. Right? If they had introduced swordsman, just
again, we see him on a
somewhere.
Phone.
It's like it's always like on a phone or on some like hide a corner. Just actually seeing him fight somebody in the scene makes him look cool. It doesn't matter.
I think it's indicative of why they've had a problem with Blade, why they might be a little bit nervous with Thunderbolts, and any single time, even Doctor Strange in the Multiverse of Madness, where it's like the MCU survived for so long in this quirky, Whedon-esque, everything is a joke, everything is meta type place, and they've never, to me, been successful at the darkness of it. Even some of the fight scenes with Daredevil, I'm like, all right, I get it. He broke this man's leg in half, but I'm like, I've seen worse shit in the previous Daredevil. You know what I mean? I do think that there is this tension, I feel like, with the Disney of it all, where they never want to commit to a darker show.
You did it. Of it all. Fuck it. He says, fuck it. I'm double whacking. I mean, you look, I get it. Either they, and Charles, I'll say this, and this is the scary part. I love these episodes. I love them. Love them. We've talked about how much I love them. Either they don't want to commit to it, or they don't know how to do it.
Which one do you think it is?
I don't know.
I think it's a commitment. I
don't
think.
And by the way, by the time we got to the end, I think the show, if I'm looking at I think the show will be darker going forward. And let me tell you why.
Like second season?
No. Even these episodes.
From these episodes on?
Because I think even the decision to have Daredevil or Matt Murdock be a creature of the day. Because remember, like we talked about, the other show is so night.
Yeah.
Like it's night because we're a lot of the times we're with the Devil of Hell's Kitchen and Daredevil and all that stuff. Yeah. But we're creatures of the day. In this show, we're seeing a lot of it is very brightly lit. Like it's all of that stuff that's like, he's born again. By the time we get to Muse at the end, the show is nocturnal again. Mm-hmm. And if Daredevil is a bigger part of the show, then we're going to see the show take on a little bit of a darker tone, and we'll be able to litigate in these next 3 episodes whether or not they're able to do it. It was hard to judge it from before, at least for me, whether or not they weren't committing to it or whether or not they weren't able to do it because it didn't seem to be a part of their narrative. So I'll be able to better say that after these next couple.
Do you think that they have a handle on even how to like not just shoot Daredevil, but to shoot the other superheroes? Because it almost seems like maybe they had filmed more and they cut it because like a lot of the superhero shit to me just hasn't looked good. What I mean by that is like even like how Matt moves in the suit. Like I think it looked really good when he's finally fighting Muse because it's a little lower lit. You're not seeing, it doesn't look as cheesy, but when they try to do it during the day or when you're seeing too much of it, I'm like, you guys
when
don't.
He was swinging?
It's iffy, yeah.
When he's swinging, when it's like the swordsman, when it's White Tiger, I'm like, I feel like you guys are afraid to show the footage of this. Like you were like, creatively we're doing it in the day, to your point. Oh, this is in the morning. This is daytime. And they don't
cell phone.
Like the cinematography hasn't been good enough to land that plane on the superhero.
Well, maybe, and this is, they're gonna be mad that we're talking about this, but maybe this is part of the reshoot stuff where you look at the footage, you're like, that's not really hitting, and maybe you can't bring these people back, and so you just kind of zoom out. And you're like, look, it's on a phone. That's why it looks like this. It's on a CCTV. That's why it looks like this, right? Instead of actually showing that kind of stuff and then have it looking bad. I'd rather have it look bad for like 15, 30 seconds than like a whole 3-minute fight scene, you know? And so hopefully we get more of that stuff or better stuff in season 2 because, I would like, to your point, see Swordsman actually doing swordsman stuff and see White Tiger do White Tiger stuff so that we understand, oh, these are who these people are. They're not just guys poking each other with sticks. They actually got hands.
I mean, because they're capable of it. I feel like Falcon and the Winter Soldier
it's great.
Looks like, if we're being in terms of just like how Falcon and the Winter Soldier was shot.
Who is it? Patrick Stewart, Professor Xavier.
Wow.
Wow.
You don't like it. You don't like it. You don't like it.
Well,
Yeah,
what are
I
they
like
gonna do? What do you want? Want McAvoy? You don't want Xavier in
What
the
if
movie?
McAvoy the next?
What if McAvoy is the next one?
Like, you don't want McAvoy? Like, what do you want? Why the face? What do
Why
you
the
want?
face?
Because it's, dog, don't give me the tip. Give me the whole shaft. Stop with the fucking
Oh,
X-Men.
Jesus
Oh,
Christ.
wow.
Nah, he went full throat with that one. You gotta let it slide.
Here's the thing. Every single MCU shit that we've gotten has a sprinkle of X-Men shit because they don't want to actually commit to a vision. They're just
What?
like, here's some X-Men shit that you love.
I mean, that's probably coming after Secret Wars.
Yeah, but still, I'm like, all
So
right.
here's
What
the
you
question.
want?
No,
They-
wait.
they-
That's an interesting thought because I was thinking about this morning. And you kind of, I mean, you guys talked about the whole Jonathan Majors thing and how the Kang thing didn't really work out. And so you pivot quickly to Doomsday so we can get to Secret Wars, so we can get to the X-Men, right? They said after this multiversal stuff, get to X-Men. Would you rather have them do this, what they're doing right now, or continue because we could argue that man, Doomsday's coming up really quick, right? Would you rather have given the time to make Doomsday mean something in terms of giving the Fantastic Four a sequel or having them develop the character of Doom more so it means something when he shows up in Doomsday, it means something when he shows up in Secret Wars. All these characters are not just thrown to the wolves in these movies. When we see them, we're we've had time to develop them. Or we're just give me the X-Men right now. Give me the X-Men by 2030.
I would always be in favor of them because I think this is what made the MCU successful in the first place, is that they made the MCU feel like a world where all of these characters have relationships with each other, even when they're in a solo movie or somebody shows up.
Mhm.
I'm like, oh, they know each other. They're building towards something. It feels like recently nothing is working. So they're just throwing a bunch of shit at the wall to see what sticks. That's why I'm not really interested in Robert Downey Jr. as Doom. That's why when a lot of this X-Men shit happens, it's I remember when we were doing Falcon and the Winter Soldier and they're just Madripoor. Or it was Miss Marvel. They're hey, they played the mutant theme song. Or Professor X just rolls out in the middle of Multiverse of Madness and be I'm Professor X, I'm here.
But it's more of our minds would reel, but what does this mean? What
does
does this mean?
And
What
every
could this
single time
mean?
I'm
And then
what
the
does this
answer
mean?
is
What does this mean?
actually
And I'm
nothing.
it doesn't mean anything.
Well, okay. Specifically to Xavier, Patrick Stewart's Xavier being in this movie, you almost have to. You almost have to, right? If Kelsey Grammer's Beast is in the movie, then you know the era of X-Men that you're talking about.
Right.
Either you got to lop this guy's head off. You have to explain where these people are and what they're doing. We already know that they exist. We saw them in the other. So you have to integrate them or pull them out of whatever you're doing. I think I don't have a problem with his Xavier being in the movie. I'm just interested in what they are going to do with Xavier in the movie.
So at this point, has any of the X-Men integration so far, especially of the Fox stuff, blown your socks away or worked? Because when I look at a lot of it, to me, I'm oh, that was cute. Or I'm oh, okay, cool. None of it to me story-wise has meant anything to me. Beast showing up at the end of Marvels, half the time I forgot that shit even happened.
Mhm.
A lot of the teasing
Right.
stuff that they've showed, I'm even most of Deadpool and Wolverine, I'm
But what's your point in saying that, though?
why am I supposed to get excited that Kelsey Grammer or Patrick Stewart? I'm just
It's not
okay.
about me getting excited, but you can't. It's one thing to be excited, but there's another thing to be disappointed that they're showing up. For story purposes, if they are going to, these characters have already shown up, and for whatever they're going to do with the X-Men, they have to either put these characters in a hibernation incubation chamber. Man, hey Xavier, look. It's this pill that S.H.I.E.L.D. made. And you could be 70 years younger and take that bitch. And then
turn into
all of a
James
sudden,
McAvoy.
I mean,
but they have to explain to us. They have to finally give us. We thought that we got it and it was actually perfect, but they have to explain to us the demise of this Xavier or the demise of this Beast.
Sure.
They have to make room for the new iterations of these
I mean,
characters.
the Secret Wars Battle World storyline is, you take a whole bunch of universes and you throw them together. Because Dr. Doom, at least in 2015 Secret Wars, all these universes come together. You have Battle World, and then you create a new universe, right? And so you can imagine with the end of the Marvels, right? With what's her name? Photon, right?
Spectre?
Whatever her name was. She wasn't Spectre. Was she
Spectrum?
No, Spectrum. There it is.
Oh yeah, it's good.
But she was in.
That made me think of the Lakers.
Really? Oh, Spectre Sportsnet.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Whatever her character's name is, she got trapped into the world, and you saw Beast at the end, right? And so I assume, just extrapolating from what they've laid out, is that at some point Dr. Doom is trying to do some crazy world-ending stuff, and it's going to involve different multiverses colliding. Then we get Secret Wars or Battle World, and then we get a whole new universe with the X-Men. Right?
But not these X-Men. Not
these
Xavier,
X-Men. Not these guys.
New ones.
Not these guys, but with new ones.
So they got to show up to die.
They got to show up to die.
I'm just asking and advocating for you gotta shit or get off the pot. Just don't no more just like they're showing up for a cameo and then they're gone.
Oh, they're not going to be in this movie very long. I don't think so.
I don't think Patrick Stewart
I mean,
Xavier is going to be here for too long.
In this movie. You
Yeah,
can't,
yeah. I mean, they may be. I have no clue. Like I've avoided whatever. I have no clue. But I wouldn't imagine. Maybe they are. Maybe they are in the whole movie. Maybe he's.
What if the next
hovering
name
around.
up is James Marsden?
Do we want to? Okay,
that'd
because
be
we
wild.
could literally end the podcast right now. Do we want to stay around for one more name?
Stay around for one more name. Who do you think we're going to actually be seeing in here?
Chris
I
Evans.
think it's easy to say Chris Evans is there.
Hugh Jackman.
Ryan Reynolds is there.
If Chris Evans is
Tobey Maguire?
if Chris Evans is announced, he'll be the last name that they announce.
Probably.
Yeah.
Chris Evans is 100% going to be in the movie.
He'll
Like,
be
he's
in there.
100%.
So, okay, but
I
that's
don't know what
my
plus
question.
minus is.
How would you do that? How would you manage to bring that together? Because I mean, I guess he's on the moon and he's old, but then you could just put him
If
in
they actually
the
do
young
that plot
thing.
line, I think I might be actually annoyed.
Yeah, right?
Yeah.
You know? So I mean, it'd be who's the craziest name you think that they could pull out the hat?
A recast.
Not a
of
recast.
T'Challa.
Not like
Recast it to T'Challa, yeah.
That would be the
okay.
craziest one.
But the craziest thing is when they announce that, are we even gonna? Well, I
No.
guess we would have to know because if they say fucking Damson Idris, we're gonna be like, that's T'Challa. You know what I'm
Yeah.
saying?
Aldous Hodge.
Aldous Hodge.
You know?
Honestly, this wouldn't be crazy, but if they're like, hey, Mahershala.
That'd be crazy.
If Mahershala was in that actually would
What
be
if
nuts.
they don't put Mahershala, but they put Kit Harington? Like, yo.
Kid Harington, Black Knight coming in.
Black
this
Knight.
Can we also be real? There have been so many characters that they've introduced in these phases that Harry Styles was supposed to be in this bitch. We have not heard one word. You think Harry Styles gonna be in
Troll.
this?
If they
Well, we haven't seen any Eternals.
No Eternals.
Nah.
We haven't. Has there been an Eternals announced yet?
We haven't seen any Eternals in this.
I mean, that was probably on the first round of cuts, bro.
Probably
It's probably
so.
like you brought
That's
the whole
sad.
team in.
That makes me bummed out a little bit.
Again, I liked the movie.
What,
They probably brought him in.
what Eternals were you dying to see in this movie?
I mean, I wasn't necessarily dying to see him, but like you would have thought that.
There would have been some carryover.
Yeah,
Jim and
They wouldn't have just like thrown him away. Yeah, Jim
You
and
can't
Chan
get Jim
probably.
and Chan spot minutes. You know, at the end of the bench,
Nah,
from
Jim
Shaq
and
Milton
Chan, I
type.
feel like for what she wants probably to be in this movie, they like
Bakari can't get no burn.
What if they just bring Sprite in?
Sprite was cool.
Sprite
was
was
not
the
cool.
worst.
Sprite was
Sprite
not
was the
cool.
worst.
Sucked. Don't do that.
No,
Don't do that. Don't set her up
Honestly,
like
if
that.
they got James Marsden to come back as Cyclops, I'd actually be hyped.
that would actually be crazy.
Oh, he's probably gonna be in the movie. You don't think so? No?
I mean, if I had to pick, I'd bring everybody back. Halle Berry with the bad accent. Famke Jensen. Everybody.
MK.
As
See,
Famke-
if
I don't
I'm
know.
advocating-
Jessica Alba.
I call her. She was. Now you spit. Now you talk.
All right.
Now you talk. It's not even like that. It's just if they put the OG Mr. Fantastic, Jessica Alba. If Chris Evans comes back
You
as
see, this
Human
is why you're
Torch,
not writing the movie.
and they put, brother, if it was up to me, They be the whole. We just make.
If it was up to
acting
would be up in this bitch.
Yeah, okay, first of all,
Let
you're
me
acting
tell you
like he wrote
something.
The Electric State. He could probably do a pretty good job.
Let me tell you something right now. If the chair pan over and it's Chloe Bennett or it's Clark Gregg, I'm finna go crazy.
Can I wait? Can I be real?
Clark Gregg would be interesting.
All right, so
Clark Gregg
wait,
would
we
be
gotta
cool.
ask a question though. After the disaster that was Electric State, if you in the Feige chair, you like,
I'm on set every day.
we might
I'm
have
on
to get
set
some
every
more.
day.
I definitely, there would have been some calls.
Yeah,
I'm serious.
definitely. You're absolutely right.
I'm serious. There would have been some calls. It would have been like, y'all niggas all right?
What's going on over there?
Because that's Marcus McFeely. That's the whole creative team.
It's the whole
right?
crew.
So I'm like, there'd have been some calls. There'd have been like, at least there would have been a call to like, okay, well, what went wrong here?
What's the vibe check?
What's the thing?
Also, I'm nervous for them filming both of these movies, if I'm being honest.
Why?
To get one of these movies right is very, very difficult.
Mhm.
And they haven't made. Have they made a good movie since Endgame?
They have not.
No, but they've never missed with Marvel though.
That's
point.
and that's
and
where
that's the
I'm
proving
at.
ground being that like they work well within the Marvel machine.
They've, like,
they
literally
have worked the
never-
best.
No,
Marvel.
and that's true. But then I would say nothing has really worked at Marvel in years. So it's like, is the Marvel machine that created Infinity War and Endgame still tight enough and around where it's like
So
a bunch
it's
of
such
those
an odd thing
producers
because
are
the
gone?
Jessica-
We'll see.
Maybe, but it's
Yeah.
like, it's to use another sports metaphor, it's like when a DC or like Wade Phillips as a DC, excellent, right? His head coaching record's a little spotty, but Wade Phillips, the defensive coordinator, oh my God, what he was doing with that Rams defense
Steve
is crazy.
Spagnuolo.
Steve Spagnuolo, right? Dennis Allen, these guys.
The
who-
right people in the right combination can give you something
yeah,
magical.
like maybe with too much. I mean, because when they're doing their stuff with Agbo and they are like the directors, the end all see all, and it's a little spotty. You bring Kevin Feige back, maybe tamps down a little bit of that stuff. He might have to be there. He might have to be like, the hovering mom. Like he might have to like just be like, hey man, y'all good? Check in, like, instead of checking in every 2 weeks, checking in every day. You know what I mean? You might have to be a little bit of the police, but you bring them down a little bit. You have Anthony, your OC, Joe Russo, your DC, your head coach Kevin Feige. It's worked before. We've seen it.
I can think of really critically acclaimed directors whose movies haven't been as tight or as good since one of their main producers was outed and exposed and jailed as one of the worst monsters in the history of this entire town. And the reality is, even though that person is one of the worst monsters and worst people in the history of this town, this one specific director that they worked with, their films were better when they collaborated together. So certain times it's not just the one thing, it's not just the other thing, it's the two things. That could be the case with the Russos, or the Russos might be cooked.
Might be cooked.
And like, what you're saying is not out of the question.
No, I don't know. I'm not saying
find out. Like,
I'm not saying that they can't make a good movie.
Yeah.
I'm just saying it's.
You hope that that under the system they can make it happen, but you're scared it might be over the hill. They might be cooked.
I think the Marvel system is not what it once was.
I mean,
you can't fucking argue that.
Yeah, that's
for
not-
certain.
So I don't know if I don't even know. And this is Feige is a legend. He's minted. Feige might be a little bit like.
You think Feige might be cooked?
I think Feige might have just been in this too long, and might not have the touch that he wants.
I think it's after these two, then we really start to look at what the tenure.
I mean, yeah, then you
Kevin
have to,
Feige looks like.
Nice. He's still one of the legends.
All right, there's.
No, not the
can't-
legacy there, but
Yeah, we're not,
does he
we're
hang
not
it up
deducting legacy points
after that?
After
Oh, Ian McKellen.
yeah, man.
Oh, yeah, we're going back to
wow.
Damn, Kevin Feige's only 51.
Not
Are you
again.
Yeah.
fucking kidding me?
Nah, he was cooking. How old was he? 2000.
Wait,
2012.
wait, hold on for a second, bro.
Jesus Christ.
I'm about to knock all of these fucking cameras over. I'm sitting here. This nigga, I'm on a podcast. This motherfucker is 50. Kevin Feige's only 51 years old.
Yeah.
Are you fucking nuts?
No, it's an unprecedented success story.
This nigga's supposed to be 67 years old, bro.
Right.
I thought he was at least 58 or 59.
He doesn't look that old.
I'm sitting here talking to you, motherfucker. This is like
What? You're acting like you're running a daycare center over here.
No. I'm not talking about you guys. I'm talking about the fact that
I get online. I see talk.
You say what did he say? Fuck me for?
What he said, he's only 51.
Yeah.
He's not. My point is, I look to see. He ain't supposed to be cooked just yet. He's supposed to be just. He ain't supposed to be
he's
cooked.
doing just fine.
No,
He'll move over to Star Wars. He'll do something.
No, he'll
like,
be fine. I think he'd be better served over at Star Wars. I think we need some new blood.
You think you need? So you would want to see him at Star Wars?
I think he could be refreshed. I think he could. I think
Yeah,
if
I
he
agree
went
with
somewhere else with just that needs kind of. You want to know what it is? I think Feige might be really, really good at building something. I think sustaining it through its latter stage might be a different skill set.
Well, he was there from
2008 to 2019.
nearly
20
20 years.
Trying to keep something going that is very long in the tooth is different than being like, hey, I'm the type of producer
Interesting.
that can like be like, all right, we're gonna build towards Endgame. Like,
I just think, to be honest with you, it's, and maybe this might be the fanboy in me, it's very difficult to besmirch Kevin Feige and his reputation. As
Oh, no,
producer
yeah.
right now.
no, have I besmirched Kevin Feige?
I'm not saying that you are. I'm really not saying that you are. I'm saying that like the MCU has been the most successful filmmaking experiment almost ever.
Yeah.
Now there's been a lot of cultural changes. There's been a lot of cultural changes that have happened in the last 5 to 6 years, and also some things that no one could have like seen. And we have yet to see if the MCU can make changes or adjust with all of that happening at the same time.
Yeah.
We don't know. That we don't know. But I think his ability to grow and sustain has pretty much been proven. I mean, even before the MCU, yeah, I think it's pretty much been proven. I think, yeah.
With the last 10 years?
I mean, if you go the last 10 years.
10 years,
goes back
that's
to 2000.
Yeah,
That goes
you're
back to
talking
15.
about since 2020.
Yeah.
Well, so I'll put it to you this way. A lot of the moves Feige and Co. have been making are moves that worked in those early phases of Marvel. And I think a lot of those moves, I'm like, I don't know if they're going to work in 2025.
I disagree. I think they took their foot off the gas. Right? You go after Endgame and you're like, look, man,
We're at the top of the top.
We did it, guys. We up 45 in the third quarter, man. We're going to keep it pushing. You know what I'm saying? We're not going to run the same offense. We're not going to run the same defense. And now you look up and you only up 15.
Well, I would contrast that. They actually might have put their foot on the gas too much.
They were
Disney
like,
Plus
we got Eternals.
all these movies.
We got
all of
fucking
this.
a Black Widow movie. We could get y'all to watch anything. And people were like,
Yeah. I mean, that was part of it. The part of it was like, they went, okay, Black Widow movie coming. And I was like, why?
She's dead.
And then I was like, well, you know what, though?
That could be cool.
If they say that it needs to happen, then it needs to happen. And then I watched it and
Didn't need to happen.
didn't need to happen. But I'll say this. I do think that the Black Widow movie is a movie that we're going to look back on as being a more important movie in the MCU than we quite remember. Because a lot of the characters from that movie are enduring.
Mm-hmm.
Yelena Belova is enduring. Red Guardian is enduring. And that thread, that world is leading into stuff like Thunderbolts and all of that stuff.
Oh, yeah.
but none of
Hawkeye.
them characters have a hit yet. None of them were hits.
Yelena Belova was definitely a hit.
Yeah.
That character
the character
works.
was
Character
a hit.
works.
No.
Character works.
Yeah.
The character works.
I think there's a difference between the character working.
Well, we'll see if Thunderbolts.
and Thunderbolts, so like, here's the thing. Hawkeye
Thunderbolt
didn't hit. Thunderbolts.
Hawkeye didn't hit.
Hawkeye did. Hawkeye did.
It did.
Hawkeye?
Hawkeye fit the streets. Don't lie. Don't lie.
Yeah, Hawkeye did.
As a hit?
Yeah, Charles.
Yeah, that was successful.
People liked it. People liked it. People liked it.
Yes.
Don't do that.
No, there's a difference between people liking it
People liked it. People
and it being, no. WandaVision is a hit. Loki is a hit. We call it Hawkeye hit?
There's different versions of hits. Those were smash, crazy hits. Those were home runs. Hawkeye was a double. Hawkeye was a solid
You take
double.
a double. You take that.
Hawkeye was a double. Hawkeye was a...
That's a pass
What's
for me.
Hawkeye hit? What?
That's right.
What?
Like, come on. We capping on this shit, bro.
How are we
How we
capping?
capping? It's a... saying Hawkeye's a doubles cabin?
I said none of them Black Widow characters have been in a hit.
Hawkeye's a hit.
Hawkeye's a hit.
Hawkeye's a hit. Hawkeye was a hit.
It did give us the quarter flipping, but it was a hit.
No, Hawkeye was a hit.
All right.
Like Hawkeye.
All right.
Hawkeye was a hit. Okay.
It did introduce Wilson Fisk on a cell phone, but
Hawkeye, it wasn't
What's
perfect.
the deal with cell phones? What's going on?
But
I don't know.
it wasn't perfect. But
It's
I go
just
back.
like, hey,
Hawkeye has.
fix
What do you
the
think
post.
Hawkeye has on Rotten Tomatoes?
I'd say mid 80s.
What do you think?
I'm gonna lie and say
You
like a
okay?
96.
Probably like 90 something.
92%.
God.
All right.
Again,
yeah,
flawed
why don't we go
metric.
look
It's a
at
good
them?
show.
Why don't we go look at them numbers? That's why they don't want to release them.
It's a good show, man. I think Hawkeye it hit, and then at the same time, I think Yelena Belova being in Hawkeye really worked as well. I
Yes.
think Hawkeye.
Oh, yeah,
worked.
There's
I
no
like
way we're not
Yelena
seeing
Belova.
Haley
She is
Steinfeld on a
one of
chair.
the rare
Definitely.
characters that they've introduced where I'm just like, this is great. This is perfect. I'm just saying, Hawkeye was definitely the beginning of me being like, this was supposed to be a layup.
Really?
It was coming off a that Hawkeye run with Matt Fraction, David Aha, like that shit. What I thought it was supposed to be like this. Like I thought they probably were like, this is going to be our Netflix's
Oh
Daredevil.
my God! Did you see he just did a? What did you think Hawkeye was supposed to be like, Charles?
I think
Do what you just did again, Elon. You're Elon. You see what you just did? Yeah. Whoa, Chuck. That was something else. We living in crazy times.
all right.
Like
Can we wrap it up? Y'all capping on this.
that
shit,
was
bro.
the Seek Holmes.
Get us out of here. Get us out of here, fans.
Do we want to stay around for one more announcement or not?
Yeah, I mean, we got 10. We can vent for 10 more minutes, right?
10 more minutes. Oh, no,
10
come
more
on,
minutes
come on,
now,
come on.
bro.
Is it 10 more?
I think no, because the last one they announced was Amy McKellen, and that was maybe 4 or 5. Like they tweeted it out 4 minutes
Nah,
ago.
we gotta go.
We gotta get
We
out
gotta
of
go.
here,
We gotta go.
Yeah.
That is a wrap. We're going to, I guess, maybe talk about some of the other ones when we can. I don't know, but
Mhm.
how many more announcements do they have? Probably like,
We
I
don't
have
know.
no idea.
This might just go on all
This
day.
could go on all day.
oh yeah.
What if we just
We're
come
not-
back at 5 o'clock and just lock in? You know what I mean?
Hell no.
That's not gonna happen. But keep your eye on it because we might do a quick video on it or something in the next couple of days. We'll see what's going on. Or if we don't have it all, you know who will have it all?
House
Mal and
That's
Joe.
Mal and Joe will have it all. So you guys can tune in to Mal and Joe, and they'll kind of fill in the gaps, fill in the seams. You don't fill in seams.
You don't fill in seams.
Seams hold things
Seams
together.
are stitched.
Yes, you
yeah.
stitch.
So then what would I-
stitch the seams?
So then
the seams together.
they would stitch the seams?
Yes.
Mhm.
Wait, what do they do with concrete though? You fill in the seams of concrete though?
Yeah. That's
I mean,
filling.
they fill in, they
fill in
pour
the
it.
cracks.
Yeah.
Word.
Well,
Pour in the cracks.
We pour in the crack. We pour in the cracks. We pour.
There you go.
Like, they'll pour in the cracks.
Hey, free us, please.
This week on the Rig Reverse feed, actually, hold on. More stuff. Tomorrow, House of R returns with their Daredevil deep dives. Also, once again, we're expecting. I don't want to put this on them, but if there are other revelations from the announcement of the Doomsday cast, you would expect maybe that they would happen. They don't have to do it.
You will be hearing from us.
The ladies don't have to do it, but we will at some point give you guys our thoughts before the end of the week. Hopefully, in some iteration, our thoughts on the casting of Avengers Doomsday. On Monday, Ringiverse recommends returns. I already know what I'm doing, and I'm not gonna let fucking Steve talk me out of it.
Great.
Okay, I'm not gonna let Steve talk me out of it.
Steve, y'all are broke Ahlman.
Steve can fuck it and suck it.
Jesus
All right.
Christ.
Our producers, Chai Haltat.
Who?
Chai. Chay.
Gahal.
Gahal.
Oh. I didn't know that was Gahal back then.
Oh my God.
See, I knew this would happen.
I didn't know that was Gahal back then.
I knew this would happen. I'm sorry, guys.
I just read it. I didn't know that
Sorry,
was
man.
Gahal. I'm sorry, Gahal.
I called this.
Gahal,
I
I
apologize.
love you, brother. I didn't know that was Gahal. I didn't know it was Gahal. I thought that was somebody new. Our producers are Gahal, Aleya Zenieris, Jonathan Kermah, Jomi, Adeniran. Hashtag Jomi survives Thunderbolts on social. Oh, wow. Jomi, you're going to make it.
I'm gonna make it, guys.
You're gonna make
gonna
it.
make it.
An additional production from Arjuna Ramgopal. Chuck, take us out. I'm more interested in this one than I've been interested in one in a long time. There's a lot
There's a lot of
stuff-
meat on the bone here.
A lot of meat on the bone.
A
Yeah.
lot of stuff on
Yes,
this
sir.
podcast.
Daredevil has returned. These chairs fucking suck. All hail our new leader, Steve On.